Happy New Year and welcome to the first tips and tricks episode of 2020. My name is Braun and today we're going to be covering one of our most useful enhancement products, the Management Console. The Management Console is a standalone application that is fully integrated with ProPricer's data model and security features. It allows you to visualize your proposals through charts, graphs, and detailed pivot grids. You can even use a pivot grid that compares an unlimited number of proposals with each other. To get the Management Console started, simply point it to the appropriate server and start analyzing your data. Let's launch Management Console and take a deeper look. The first thing you'll probably notice is that it resembles ProPricer's layout, only with a few less tools. Up here at the top of the window, you will see we have a ribbon with 4 tabs. These tabs control all of the options and settings within Management Console. The tabs are Home, Data, Options, and Help. There's also a tab ribbon above the workspace here that allows you to have multiple proposals or reports open at a time. Here in the workspace area, you can see the proposal information such as the version, description, status, and more. Some Management Console users only have a handful of proposals, while others have hundreds of proposals. There's no limit to the number of proposals that can be accessed within Management Console, but the more proposals there are, the longer it can take to load your data. Right now I have 14 proposals in my Management Console, with dates that range from 2016 to 2019. But let's say you have proposals for the last 10 years and you only want to see the proposals from last year. Let me show you how to filter. Click the Proposal List Setting button in the Options ribbon and set the date filter in the dialog box. In this case, we'll set it to 2016. Click OK, and then click Yes. The proposal list can also be filtered by any of the column headers or within the Group by Box feature. You can see the headers here. Now let's run through some example scenarios that will demonstrate the power and versatility of the Management Console. Let's say you'd like to see a proposal's direct cost by year in a pie chart. To open this chart up, click Cost by Year in the Home ribbon. Select the cost level that you would like to view the data by, and click OK. Now that we have a color-coded pie chart of proposal direct costs broken down by year. But what if you hate pie charts and you want more of a bar graph? Easy. In the bar graphs area, click More, then Proposal Costs by Year. Select a cost level, and boom, we have a beautiful bar graph. What if you're in recovery from bar graphs and hate pie, and just find yourself to be more of a linear thinker? Then you're in luck because Management Console also gives us the ability to create line graphs. Just click Proposal Costs by Year in the line graph area, select the cost level, and boom, we've got an epic line graph. To add additional proposals to any of these graphs, simply select them in the proposal list on the beginning screen. Before opening a graph, let me show you. For those who prefer to avoid graphs altogether, Management Console also has a pivot grid. The pivot grids allow for a more in-depth look at your proposal data and even lets you compare 2 or more proposals at once. The pivot grid in Management Console work the same way as the pivot grids in ProPricer. We have the data area, the columns area, and the rows area. To create this grid, we just need to drag a few items into these areas. For example, we'll do a report direct cost by data. We'll use month by year in the columns and a resource to rows. Once a grid is created, we can view individual columns, rows, and cells in the graph area by just clicking on them. To select more than one at a time, just hold the Control button. Isn't that a great trick? If we want to create a comparison pivot grid, the process is the same. We just need to select the base proposal that the other proposal will be compared to. Once the grid is open, we can click the proposal headers to view the comparison in the graph below, and we can hold the Control key to select groups of proposals. Management Console also allows you to print or export any of the graphs that are generated. The print option can be found under the tab ribbon where it says Print and Preview. The print graphs can be exported as a PDF file, a doc file, or Excel file, and a few other file types as well. But this isn't the only way to export data from the Management Console. Graphs can also be exported to Microsoft Project or Microsoft Excel on the data ribbon. The advanced export option even lets you select the exact elements that are included in the reports. Let's check this out real quick. The advanced export option works a lot like Excel export feature in ProPricer. At the top of this window, you can select the type of export you would like to create, Excel or a CSV value, and the export location settings are entered here. Export level options are here. Export levels determines if the data is organized by task, resource, or performance period. Down here, the available elements for exports are selected. To summarize this episode, the Management Console application provides a unique perspective for all your proposals in one convenient location. In other words, you are no longer limited to a single proposal view. The program also has an easy-to-use interface for accessing various charts, graphs, and pivot grids that allow cost data to be analyzed from multiple angles. Lastly, the Management Console gives you the ability to export as much data as you'd like to Microsoft Project or Excel. If you enjoyed this episode of Tips and Tricks, please share it with your colleagues that use ProPricer. If you have any questions about ProPricer, or maybe even some tips and tricks of your own, we encourage you to email them to us. Your tips may end up in our next video. Again, my name is Noah Braun, and thanks for watching.